Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Abby, or also known as Kat from KatPaperLove. I'm so excited to be here. This is my first tutorial with Benzie as a Benzie maker team and playing with this beautiful felt. I'm super excited to have you here. Today we are going to be making a beautiful little Monstera kawaii plant with these cute little picks. Super easy, great for a beginner, really simple. In the description you'll be able to find all the material as well as a stencil that you can download and print and cut out for yourself in order to follow along. I will go over all the items that we need as well here in the video, so let's go ahead and get started. First up is this beautiful palette of beautiful felt that is from Benzie. This is the LemonGrass collection, and you'll be able to find the link in the description in order to get yourself this beautiful palette. The colors are just gorgeous, and it's going to work perfectly for our little Monstera project. You're going to also need some floral wire that you can also find on Benzie. Again, everything will be listed in the description for you. You're of course going to need wire cutters for this in order to cut those down. Some tacky glue as well. This is also sold on Benzie. So fun, super easy. It makes everything really simple to put together. Some scissors as well. These are listed on Benzie. Really great, multifunctional and super sharp. Perfect. Some single sheet of felt. This is the cocoa one. This is also found on Benzie. Really great for the dirt aspect for our little Monstera plant. Some recycled cardboard. So I'm just using some cardboard that I had laying around. This is the LaCroix can, you know, the can box or whatever. I use that. I love recycling items in my projects, as well as some recycled styrofoam. You know, you can get this from any package that you get of anything, you know, could be a DVD player. Are those even around? I'm using some marbles to add some weight to my plant to make sure it stays nice and weighted. But you can use like rocks or whatever you have lying around. You're also going to need some embroidery floss. Benzie also has a variety of colors. This one's in black, and I'll have it listed below. And some brads. These you can get at any office supply store or on Amazon. You can get them in black already, or you can spray paint them like I do, and that's going to add our cute little face on our kawaii plant. You're also, like I said, wire cutters to cut the wire. If you don't have that, some super sharp scissors, if you don't mind using those work. Ruler so you can measure out the size of your little flower pot. The stencils you're going to print and cut out, and this is so you can create the beautiful Monstera leaves. And like I mentioned, you can find that below in the description. Just print it out, fussy cut it, and have it ready to stencil out your Monstera leaves. Again, we're going to be using recycled cardboard, and I will add the dimensions down below, but basically you want to create a little pot. The dimensions for it is about 2.5 wide. So 2.5 wide, and then 9.5 lengthwise as well. You can also create a little tab if you wanted to, because part of my thought process was maybe creating a tab and a little slit that you can insert the tab, but you don't really have to. Just make sure that the material is very pliable. You can put it against a table to break down the fibers, and it makes it really easy to create that cylinder. You're going to need a circle for the base, and this is 2.5 wide. This is just so you have a bottom to your little pot, and I will show you how to glue that when we get to that point. Lastly, you're going to need some stuffing, so some polyfill. It can be any brand, any brand works. This is just to fill in the rest of our flower pot, and then we're going to top it off with the brown kind of like dirt on top, but this just fills in our pot, any little crevices, and makes it really easy to work with. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to just jump right into it. And if you have any questions, just shoot them down below in the comments, and I will do my best to help you out. So I already have 2 made, but I want to put a total of 4. So 2 large ones and 2 smaller ones. And I wanted to create a variation in the leaf colors. So not just keep it in one color. You know, when leaves grow, they start off very light and then they get darker with age. So that's kind of what I was trying to do, you know, add some interest to our project. And you can honestly go with any color that you would prefer and make it really your own, you know. We're going to start off by stenciling those out. I fast forward these portions because it takes a while. I want to make sure it's nice and visible for me when I cut. And I noticed right here, oh, that's not super visible. So I'm going to go back in with the pen and just fill that in. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut out 2 at one time. So basically you want a top and a bottom. So when you glue it together and you glue the wire inside, you know, it's hidden and it makes it really simple. And it's great because you can put them together, layer 2 pieces, and these scissors that are from Benzie cut through this super easily. So just go ahead and cut that out. You're going to cut a total of 2 large sleeves and 2 smaller ones, or you can go with any combination that you like. Again, the stencil itself is kind of just like a guide. You can make this very, very personal and you know, plants are so unique. The leaves are all so different and so unique. So just use it as a guide for yourself and make sure that you also cut the smaller ones. So again, you're going to need 2 large ones and 2 small ones. And then we're going to glue these together just like this. What I want to do here is I want to create some interest by creating different lengths. So some taller ones, some shorter ones, and I'm going to be using my wire cutters to cut the wire. And sometimes it's a little difficult to cut these even for myself. I have really, really weak wrists. I don't know, I had a hard time saying that, but they're weak. So I just go back and forth and it cuts it super simple. So now that you have that cut, I'm excited and I, put them together and like, okay, I like the length. And remember, you're going to want it a little longer than how tall you want it. The reason why is that a good portion of that wire is going to get glued inside the leaf. Why do I do that? Why don't I make it a little shorter? Well, it's because I want to make the leaf pliable. It creates interest. It creates kind of like movement in the leaf itself. So you want that basically almost at the tip. And then glue the 2 pieces together and take your time with that. It's just kind of like making sure you put a puzzle piece together, matching, top and bottom. So take your time with that and make sure you let it dry. At this stage, you can already tell how adorable it is. It's kind of like a palm leaf fan or something, or a little Monstera fan. So pretty. I love how unique it is. I love the stencil. It just, I don't know, it's so pretty. And like I said, it can be super unique. Monstera plants are super unique. And if you wanted to, you can maybe add little holes onto it and make it more like a Swiss cheese, Monstera plant. But they're just so fun to make. And, I want to cut out 1,000 leaves, especially with the Benzie felt. It's so fun. And I love the fibers in it. It just makes it look a little bit more realistic. And look at this little bunch of Monstera plants. The Monstera leaves are so freaking cute. And like I said, the wire inside of it makes it where it's pliable and you can add that movement into it. And it just creates so much interest. But here we go. We have 2 large ones, 2 small ones, or whatever, combination that you want to do for your little plant. But just make sure that it's not too heavy, or you're going to want to make sure to add more weight to your pot. So let's go ahead and get started on making our little flower pot. So go ahead and grab your pieces of cardboard that you have already cut and pre-measured, and we're just going to add glue all around the base of the circle. You're going to want to make sure you get a mat. I'm just using the other portion of the recycled cardboard because it is going to get a little bit messy. Basically, you're hugging that circle with the outer edge or the inner edge of the longer cardboard that you cut. You're going to let that dry for a little bit and then come back to it. And when it's dry, here you have your cute little pot. And mine is a little wonky. It's not completely straight. I think I made it a little too thin at the top. But you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a fun project. It's for any skill level, very beginner friendly. You can even do this with your kids. So a wonky pot, it's even more fun, don't sweat it. Now we're going to wrap this up in some felt, continuing with the lemongrass palette. I'm really, really a fan of these yellows and these mustard colors. And I kind of just eyeball it of how much material I'm going to need to wrap the potted plant. And then I'm going to eyeball the length as well, but I want to give it a little bit more length on top. And this is so that we glue it on the inside of our pot. And I'll show you here. So we're going to wrap this up. We're going to add some glue. So you see I have at least maybe ½ an inch on top of excess, and I'm going to show you how we're going to glue that towards the inside so that way we have a pretty color on the inside and we don't just see that cardboard, you know, we don't see that recycled cardboard in the inside. We're going to continue to use this fabulous glue. This tacky glue is good for basically this whole project. It's been great. It's super fun and it's of course super tacky. So let's go ahead and wrap our little pot. Really easy, like so. Wrap that up, make sure that everything is adhered, and now we're going to be cutting little tabs on the top to glue that towards the inside of our pot. And yeah, you get glue all over your hands, so the good thing about the tacky is that you can just rub it off, super simple. And yeah, I'm going to create little slits, and we're just going to glue those towards the inside, and that's going to cover up whatever may be visible once we add our little dirt. So we want to make sure that it's going to be just, you know, felt that you see and not the cardboard underneath. Now that we have this, we're going to take the other color, this deeper mustard color, and I'm going to cut like a slit. And this is just basically going to be the length of the felt all the way. It's going to be perfect. And, you know, if you can't eyeball a straight line, just use a ruler and then cut it that way. But we're going to wrap that at the top to create kind of like this lip to the pot. And again, we're just adding all this interest, all this dimension, and just making it super fun. But you can make your pot any way you want. You know, if you don't want to cover it up with felt, you can use paint as well. Some acrylic paint, paint that up, and it'll be super cute as well. Especially if you have kiddos, they love paint. They love paint, so you can do it that way as well. So just really make it unique and your own project. And just wrapping that all the way around, it creates a cute little lip to our potted plant. And I'm super happy with the colors. They're gonna look great with the Monstera leaves. Of course, like I said, this LemonGrass palette from Benzie, they're great at combining colors. So it just, you know, the hardest part has been done for you, the color combination. So I think that's really cool. Now to cover up the bottom, basically I'm going to cut like a square, or this is more like a rectangle. Add glue at the bottom and glue that down at the bottom of my pot. And that way it's super simple. I don't have to cut a circle or, you know, worry about making sure it's perfect. I'm just going to glue it down and then cut it around, and it's perfect. So that way it's adhered and you don't see any of the cardboard underneath. So really, really simple, super easy. And there you have it. We have our little pot. It's so cute. I love the colors. And now we're going to put together our little kawaii Monstera plant. I'm going to add the styrofoam here on the inside, and that's what we're going to use to attach our picks. I'm adding the marbles to add that weight, or you can add rocks or the little bead pellets, the polyester ones, to add weight at the bottom. I completely forgot that I wanted to add a face, but at this stage we can still do it. I'm basically going to use a doll needle to add the little brads, using a doll needle, or you can use a pick or whatever to go through the cardboard. Make sure that you are really careful when you're doing this stage and you don't poke yourself. But we're going to attach those little eyeballs, and look how cute. I love it. Make sure you bend the brad so that they stay in place. And at this stage, you can either add a smile if you want or not. You can keep it like this because kawaii faces without smiles are super cute as well. But I'm going to add a little ooh face, which is one of my favorite little faces to make. And because the cardboard's super thin, I can easily use like a larger doll needle to add the little ooh face, and just, you know, embroidering that back and forth and creating a tiny little circle. And how cute. It has the sweet little face. And now I'm going to attach my picks for the Monstera leaves, attach them to the foam. This makes it really simple having that foam to have them stay in place. They are going to move a little bit around for me, but if you wanted to, you can use the glue as well to keep them in place a little bit more, or some hot glue, whatever you like. If you don't have styrofoam, you can get some at any craft store, or you can use like flower foam if you have that. Just something that you can attach it really, really easily on the inside. Now we're going to stuff it with the polyfill, and, you know, with the stuffing, stuff it in there so we fill in any crevices. And now after this stage, it's our final little portion. We're going to use that cocoa or cacao, however you want to pronounce it, felt to create our dirt. And it's going to be super simple. What I decided for this stage is I wanted to make it look more like wood chips. And you can do this any way that you want. But I decided wood chips would be be the easiest way to fill this in, and it goes really well with the Monstera plant. Before I add my wood chips, I'm going to cut just pieces of the felt. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just filling this in at the bottom so you don't see any of the white from the stuffing. So just cutting all these little pieces, stuffing them in there every which way to try and cover that up as best as possible. And this is not going to look pretty at the beginning, but when you add the wood chips on top, it's going to cover that up. And what you see on the bottom is just the matching felt, and you don't see any stuffing. Just play around with it. Add those in there, stuff them in there, and after you stuff that excess felt, you're going to use the glue and just pour that glue all over the top. You're going to pour that all the way on the top in order for you to attach the little wood chips. And this is going to be the final step that we're going to do for our little baby Monstera kawaii plant. And just cover that up. Cover all the little portions. If you need to cut more chips until you're satisfied. There isn't really any amount that I can tell you how many you need. It's just very personal according to your project. But just stuff that in until you're satisfied with the overall look. And here it is. Oh my goodness. He is cute, or she, whatever you may want to call yours. But I'm so very happy with him. He is adorable, so precious. This will make a great gift for someone, or a great project to make with your kids, a great coworker gift. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you to Benzie. I'm so happy to be part of the maker team. Let me know in the comments if you're going to do this, or tag me or Benzie so we can see your beautiful kawaii Monstera plants. Thank you everyone for being here. Bye!